All the way back in 2017, which seems practically ancient in the world of gaming now, Nintendo released the smash hit system seller to end all system sellers. And no, I'm not talking about Breath of the Wild yet, I'm talking about Super Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey was released in late October of that year, and was the game that got me all excited for the Switch. It's the game that got me to buy one in August of 2017, and though it wasn't out back then, it was still the main thing I was hyped for. To give you a basic timeline, I got Breath of the Wild alongside my Switch, then proceeded to also buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe a few days later, get Pokken Tournament DX as soon as it came out because it was Pokemon, and I love Breath of the Wild, enjoyed Mario Kart, and found Pokken Tournament to be mediocre. But those are all stories for another time. After a few months, my body was ready for Mario Odyssey to finally release. With every commercial that came on the air, I salivated at the mouth over how amazing the game looked, and was practically just as excited for the package to arrive at my doorstep as I was for the Switch in its entirety previously. I played the game non-stop and beat it in just 3 days, being absolutely mesmerized by just how addictive and fun every single facet of the gameplay was, and how gorgeous the graphics were. I clearly adored it when I played through it the first time, but over the past few years, I've heard some people throw critiques at the game. Are these criticisms not too concerning in the face of what Odyssey gets right, or do they ruin an otherwise fantastic experience? Well, let's see. The first thing that stuck out to me when I played this game, as is the case for most games I play nowadays, was how colorful and visually appealing the world of the game was. Each different kingdom that Mario goes to has a very distinctive style, with new creatures and mechanics to discover, and that all supplements a generally fantastic art style that runs smooth as butter. Mario really pops and sticks out from the levels of the game and the enemies because everything is comprised of very nice and unique colors. It's just a joy to look at, and you're always able to tell exactly what's going on and have a clear perspective on the situation, even when things get really busy. Now, this wouldn't be too big of a deal for many modern games to pull off, but considering that this is a first-year Switch title, it is really impressive that it manages to achieve this and run at 60 FPS nearly flawlessly. As I said, you have a huge variety of color palettes and different looks throughout the levels. You go from the mostly black and white yet stylish Cap Kingdom to the realistic cityscape of the Metro Kingdom to the gorgeous plastic look of the Luncheon Kingdom where a bunch of stuff is made out of food. It's all around a very nice looking game that never fails to bring new colors and ideas to the table when it comes to visuals. But that's not the only area where Odyssey is constantly serving up varying ideas, because it also really succeeds by taking the same approach to gameplay. During the early stages of the game even, you are constantly getting new ideas thrown right at you, similar to another game I've reviewed, Sayonara Wild Hearts. In the very first kingdom, you can turn into a frog. Can you turn into a frog in Super Mario 64? That's right, I don't think so. This is why the game is better than any other Mario game. And that's just the first kingdom. Immediately after the beginning, you go to the Cascade Kingdom, where you literally are able to become a T-Rex. What the hell? This is when I knew that this game was truly something special. When I saw that you could turn into a T-Rex, I immediately threw my money right in Nintendo's face. You go through incredibly fun locales, each with new captures that add to the personality of these worlds, as well as the pace and entertainment value of the level design. Not only does the T-Rex make the Cascade Kingdom incredibly memorable and distinct, but it also allows you to have the awesome feel of crushing everything beneath your feet with immense power. You also get access to the Chain Chomp in the very same level, which allows you to break rocks and fight the boss not by simply chomping them, but by pulling back and firing like a slingshot. It's always subverting your expectations and making cool yet seemingly simple ideas into fantastic mechanics that are used to their fullest potential. You have these weirdo alien onions in the Wooded Kingdom that allow you to jump super high over obstacles and crush things with your vegetable head. These tanks that are very straightforward but are used in a boss battle that is basically Centipede, sign me the hell up. You can even have a giant pork chop that you can capture. Come on, I don't see Mario Sunshine letting you play as a pork chop. Classic Mario enemies receive brand new spins. The Potaboos are now playable and can swim through all kinds of lava and shoot through these cannons at blazing speeds. Hammer Bros can use pans to break blocks of cheese, because the people who made this game clearly were inspired by the greatest and most sophisticated of classical literature, and you can also become an adorable little bird with a beak that you can use to fling yourself up walls.
Hassan Pecker.
I don't see that in Super Mario Galaxy 2, just saying. It's fantastic to see all the ideas that this game has be fully realized and used properly. I never felt like a certain mechanic was woefully underused, except for the pork chop gameplay, but I'll let that slide for now because it still has more of it than Mario 3D Land. But this is just the capture mechanic, one of the ideas of the game. Now, you have to keep in mind that the game was originally revealed without this mechanic being shown at all, but rather with Cappy being the only large new addition, and he couldn't possess anyone like an exorcist, just assist Mario with jumps. This is another huge victory for the game. Even when you look away from the glamour of certain aspects, you will find that the basic platforming is perhaps the smoothest, most enjoyable, and free in any 3D platformer by a long shot. That's right, way more than Mario 64. I've heard people be upset that the game doesn't have the wall kick and a bunch of other things I've never even heard of in my entire life, but I really don't think those are used by the average player very often, and Nintendo isn't making this game just for speedrunners, but rather for everyone. And it does a great job of introducing the abilities as Cappy in a new way that opens up so many possibilities within the platforming. Not once will you get bored going through the game, and the act of simply moving around can be intoxicating in how fun it is. The gameplay of Mario Odyssey is quite possibly the best of any platformer out there. Now, I don't find it to be as addicting and memorable as Spyro or Banjo-Kazooie, but from the standpoint of mechanical freedom and technical innovation, this is the platforming equivalent of The Last of Us. I seriously find myself popping this game in constantly just to get a few moons and then carry on with my career of exploiting clickbait online because it's so consistently enjoyable in every single way. Though the other major critique I've heard against it does actually concern that. Many people believe that the way collectibles are laid out here is flawed, due to you only needing around 150 moons to complete the game, while 800 are available overall, including the post-game. I can understand the distaste for this, as well as how some moons are a little too simple, but I personally liked how this feels in the pacing of the game. Super Mario Odyssey is exactly what the title implies, a grand adventure. An odyssey, if you will, through kingdoms all across the world, and even on the frickin' moon. But eventually it runs out of things it can show you in just the story of one game, so it has to compensate by allowing the show to still go on. The game being pretty short to beat is a direct result of how varied it is. There are only so many ideas you can throw into one game at one person before making them go into Joker crazy mode, so adding new challenges and moons all across the already established levels after you beat the game makes perfect sense to me. It's not perfect and could have been done better, but I don't take too much issue with it personally. And that music, holy mother of God, the music of this game is just... it's Mario music. Mario almost always has amazing music, and when he doesn't, it's because he's too busy teaching typing for the second time. But Mario Odyssey is so good with its music that I honestly find nearly every track unforgettable. You have a huge variety of musical styles, just like you do with gameplay and graphics as well, so it never gets stale. Mario Odyssey also kind of has a story. It's very simple, But we do also have some of the greatest dialogue of all time here. There isn't a ton to talk about here with the story, but the moment at the end where Peach rejects Mario and Bowser's marriage really sticks out to me. Hashtag feminism, am I right or am I right? Mario Odyssey is one of the most amazing joy rides of a platformer you could possibly have the pleasure of experiencing. It is a mechanical marvel with some of the greatest, smoothest ideas injected into its design. It's a beautiful, cartoonish masterpiece when it comes to visuals as well, and has one of the best soundtracks of all time. A few minor design flaws do not stand up to the monumental amount of victories this game achieves. This is truly a masterpiece for the ages, which will forever leave a mark on the design of platformers and their relationship with innovating the games industry. 5 out of 5. Get the hell out of my face, Mario teaches typing too.